YouTube channel. Make sure y'all come subscribe. We'll go into it. You say Trump in office is scary? No, it's not. Any white man in office is scary. Y'all gotta stop acting like Biden ain't a whole bitch ass nigga as well. And that's what I don't like about some of y'all scary Negroes, man. Y'all be acting like Biden ain't a whole ass nigga, and the Democrats ain't whole ass niggas like the Republicans. You know what I mean? And everybody that just hopping on they click and they balls ain't whole ass people as well that's been pushing y'all in the same whole ass agenda for the last 400 years. Y'all gotta get off that, man, cause scary Negroes ain't my people. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, man, you know, we ain't operating like that, man. They been on some whole ass shit for a minute. This nigga Sleepy Joe is literally about to die any day now. Like, how you vote for an old white man that you wouldn't even allow to run your business? This man can't even stay up at night. This nigga is literally geriatric. So we not gonna act like this ain't American. Like, I'm gonna speak for real, so y'all can get the real. You feel me? All of these white devils don't fuck with y'all. So if y'all want me to speak for real, that's where we gonna go. Man, y'all come over here, man. Let's have a real conversation. We live?
Yes, sir.
Peace, family. 19 Keys. It's the Man to Man podcast. Steve, man, can you get us started on this target, man?
Oh,
Let's get
for
into
sure.
conversations.
First off,
the Epstein List.
peace to the family. Like, now it's been a lot going on in the media, but today was like breaking news day on your boy Donald Trump. Now, I don't know if you all seen this in the media today, but in Colorado, the Supreme Court had ruled to remove Donald Trump off the ballot completely in that state due to him breaching the Amendment 14 when it comes to the insurrection clause in law and I guess they trying in that clause or whatnot. It states that anybody who's been in rebellion or like a Confederate, they can't run for a position of power in America. So they trying to use the January 6th riots against Donald Trump. And Colorado is the first state to ever use this 14th Amendment clause ever. You know, so my thing is, do you think this can become a domino effect to the other cities? And also, does that disinfiltrate the Trump supporters in Colorado, make them feel powerless, like they ain't got a voice out there now since they can't vote who they really support?
I think it's a dangerous precedence that's being set, and what's going on. It's just another lady sticking a war against Donald Trump because Biden is so low in the polls. This is his. I think he polled like the least favorable of all time during his presidency, specifically against Donald Trump. There's only really two candidates right now
Right.
that could possibly win. If it's not Donald Trump, I don't see Republicans having somebody that can really go to bat that can win in this particular quarter, because it got to be somebody that personality sticks out, that the people know the story of.
Yeah.
And I just don't see nobody like that right now. The fact that the Democrats still have Biden and they not present nobody else, to me lets me know that they don't care. You can't just come and say that Donald Trump is bad for America and y'all gonna keep pushing Biden. Biden is geriatric. Biden has dementia. Biden does not care that he is old. And you wouldn't let Biden run at McDonald's. You wouldn't. Let's just be honest. If he went and applied with all his credentials to say he wants to be a manager of McDonald's, I don't think he could do it. Right? Not on his own. He got to have a full-time staff, a full-time health team, just to try to keep him cognitive of the little time that he does have in front of the American people.
Yeah.
And I think that Biden is a spirit representation of where America is at. It's at the falling stages. If Biden represents anything, he represents America and the end of America. Right? Doesn't have much to go. Is clinging on to these old ideas, not willing to let go of power. Right? He's old. Right? And he's not willing to let nobody else get that power to change ideals and values in America to make real progress, right? And he's fighting against any progress that could be made. And he's a part of the he's being managed like a puppet, and
Yeah.
somebody got his hand in their back telling him what to say and what to do, right? And this is a very dangerous thing. If the Democrats really want to be taken serious, they have to have a candidate that represents something that the American people care about. They can't just try to get rid of some student loans. The issue with student loans is, yes, there's a lot of people who can't afford them, people who can't pay for them, right? Those people are already not making enough money. Those people are already not going to pay back the student loans. Yes, it's going to feel great to get that little stress off their chest, but it's not going to increase their income. It's not going to change their quality of life per se. So that's not something that's really going to get the people riled, and everybody in America don't have them, right? These younger children don't even look at the institution of education as a viable resource for them to live the so-called American dream, mostly because they don't believe in the American dream no more. The American dream is something that is diminishing in the background of people's ideas. The millennial and Generation Z and Alpha generation looks at even having a mortgage as, an unreasonable thing. They say, I don't want to go to school, get education, get a degree, wait till I'm 60, till I'm so tired that they call it retirement because I don't want to do much else with life but wait around to die. You know what I'm saying? Have a mortgage that I got to pay on for the rest of my life with taxes. None of that just seems fun. They don't even want to practice monogamy anymore. They not. I'm just being honest. The old values of America don't represent the new generation, and they don't have politicians that can speak for those values and new representation. So they're completely disconnected from their voter group.
I feel like, it's the saying they love you and then they hate you for the same thing. The thing that they kicking Trump out of the ballots for is the same reason that the people of America love him for, his rebellion spirit. We needed that. We needed somebody that come in and ruffle feathers and say what they mean and stand on it. But now I'm more worried about, like I said, the citizens in those countries, in that state that wanted to vote for Trump, but now they don't got no voice. Like,
So you worried about them?
I ain't gonna say worried about him, but it's a concern. It should be a concern around there because it's like shit. You say I got the right to vote, but the person that I want to vote for, I can't take him off. So now you gonna make me choose between the candidate that I ain't got no
And
type
that was
of
what, in Oklahoma?
It's in Colorado.
Oh, Colorado.
Yeah,
Colorado.
but different. But the thing is, if this happened in all the big states, like if Texas and California chose to do the same thing by using this Amendment 14 law, it could like crunch his whole campaign.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I think here's the thing. There's a lot of, and here's this one nobody wants to admit. There is a lot of black people who have no problem 100% liking, speaking out for and with Donald Trump. That's just it. Here's the thing about that. You can be mad about that. You can have whatever differences in opinion. But how come neither candidates, because they've always told us to vote for the lesser evil, at some point in time, this has to wear on the American consciousness. This has to wear on people to where they're tired of that slogan. They're tired of that propaganda. And unless you're presenting a good candidate, right, then you have to be okay with people choosing whatever they're comfortable with. Right? And people say that racism is not a real thing that people are worried about anymore. If it's not in the news, you're not experiencing it on a daily basis. It's just a fact. Right? I grew up at a time, I can ride down the street and somebody hit me with the N-word. I also grew up at a time where, we slap somebody for tripping and playing around. I grew up at a time where microaggression was at an all-time high. The type of racism that we deal with now is an inner consciousness built into the system of America, but it's more so the class of issues that we have. When we see the statistics about the 17,000 versus 171,000 household incomes, these are class issues, right? The economic issues that we're dealing with are class issues. Yes, they're built on, these particular institutions and agendas, but the younger generation are not faced with the physical representation of racism anymore. So what they're looking at is the economic, financial, education disparities in America. They're not looking at it from a race issue anymore. They're looking at it from a class lens, right? Because there is a strategy for the individual and the family.
Yeah.
But nobody can tell me that there isn't a formula and a framework that if you get into investing, you get super educated in America, you have a right mentality in that family, right? And they're raised up as an institution that family cannot make it in America, not only in America, but across the globe.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that that's not possible. You can't tell me that racism is going to stop. Now, if stop that family. Now, if they want to go work for white man, yeah, then those white men get to decide how biased they want to be. That's the terms of reality. Yeah. But here's the thing: are we gonna continue to complain about institutions and their preference of how they want to run their institutions, or build it?
Yeah,
that's the choice. That's why the things that happen throughout time in America, how continue to happen in the cycle over and over and over again. You got to learn from the lessons and move forward. It's that simple. Like, you can't tell me that, and this is an analogy that I love to use. Whether would you rather be, you know what I'm saying, a white man in America with privilege, right? That's subpar, or would you rather be a genius black man in America? Who you think is going to go farther? Now, if this was in the 1930s, we would say the white man, because there's too many things in front of it still that can stop. Man can get killed walking down the street, looking at somebody the wrong way. But in this day and age, man, a man being super intelligent and highly genius, man, he can do anything he want in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, man can go move to Dubai and get into goddamn a market out there and start making money. Like, ain't nothing stopping men and women today but their mindset.
All right, now this it got me going back, right? Like I said, they went to the Constitution, right, to use it against them. And it's the first time that this specific law has been used against a president.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking is when it goes to the Young Thug situation, right? If you're gonna abide by the Constitution when it comes to your president, you got to do it for your citizens as well. Like, why you want to use people rap lyrics in courtroom and you say that I got the right of speech, freedom of speech, So do you think that this is like strategically going against Trump, or is they trying to actually obey the law?
They ain't trying to obey no laws, man.
Exactly.
Ain't no damn laws in America. America is not about following no rules.
Yeah.
America is about creating the rules so that the ruling class can break the rules and continue to rule. That is it. America decides when somebody.
Say that again.
America is about the ruling class breaking the rules so that they can stay in rules. They put those rules so you can stay ruled, not so that they can follow those. They don't care about doing illegal things or none of that. I was talking with my brother Keenan. He said only black culture is the one who villainize their criminals. He said in every other culture they're celebrated, right? We even celebrate the cartel, the mafia, right? All of those different things, right? America it makes movies and glorify those things. Even they serial killers, they glorify. They make Netflix films about them. They goddamn dress up like them on Halloween and they glorify them. It's a sick thing from that particular lens, but that's the reality. It's like what's going to with Jonathan Major. Same thing happened with Nate Parker. Nate Parker, so-called witness seen or has something going on with some situationals, you feel me, that he's seen in college or whatever, and they dropped him for Hollywood and he was moving, he was booming.
Right.
Jonathan Majors was booming in America.
Yeah.
Right? Jonathan Majors had it booming so much. Well, you should have told me my mic was down quicker. I want the people to catch all of that good stuff I was just saying. Damn. No, it was on. It was good. Okay, somebody saying it was low. But no, Jonathan Majors, you feel me? And before I even get into the Jonathan Majors story, here's the question, right? Redemption. Can anybody become canceled, really? The quote comes is, if your society doesn't have a pathway for redemption, then get out of it. If your organization, your institution does not have a pathway for redemption, leave that institution or organization. You should not be a part of anything that does not have a clause and a pathway for redemption and redeeming yourself.
It's only one thing that cannot be redeemed in my book, and that's
You ain't gotta say the word. I don't want to hit in the
yeah,
algorithm.
that word and anything dealing with children and I guess snitching. You can't come ain't no redeeming from that. But other than
Shit,
that, you
they
can.
say that, but Gunna,
Oh well, he proved it wrong, huh?
6ix9ine.
Yeah, they proved it wrong. I
Here's the
guess.
thing, yeah, because the streets no longer rule nothing. The street code doesn't matter anymore. Besides those who literally decide to be a part of
We
that.
redeem murderers all the time.
Yeah.
For sure, for
I
sure.
mean, you can literally be a part of our culture and talk about your, actions against other people within our culture, and we deem that okay.
Yeah.
Right? And like you literally can get famous off of it. You know what I'm saying? You can get famous off talking about like beefs. People get famous of going at each other in violent situations. This man got so-calledly canceled for a white woman's finger. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of harassment. Now, they didn't do that to Robert Downey Jr. They didn't do that to Ezra Miller. What's his name? Ezra Miller, I think that's his name. Yeah. The guy who played Flash. You know what I'm saying? And a dozen of other people, but they were waiting for some reason. He must have pissed somebody off in America, somebody off in the higher ups. Something was going on behind the scenes that we don't know about to where they wanted to make him an example. Right?
But yeah, for me, right, watching this Jonathan Majors situation play out, it was just a reminder for black men across America, right? Because I instantly went back to the Emmett Till case, right? Mm-hmm. Now, he allegedly whistled at a white lady and automatically was like presumed guilty in the eyes of the white man. They didn't care, they didn't want to hear it. It was allegedly that he whistled, and he unfortunately lost his life. Now, fast forward to 2023, Jonathan Majors. Man, they got you on camera, right, raising your voice, even grabbing this lady, and you going into the court system, man, you guilty out the gate. They don't want to hear nothing. It's called white fragility. All the white woman got to do is cry. You going down, my brother. So it was just a reminder to show them, like, man, we still in power. And I'm going to remind you, instead of calling you a nigga, I'm going to call you a convicted felon and remind you will be segregated from Hollywood movies. You can't come over here. You probably won't even want to date another white woman no more after we done with you. It was a reminder to show them that, black man, we got a light room to move around in America.
All I know is he has some of the greatest roles that we've seen in the last 100 years.
Yeah,
his
I
role
agree.
in Creed, classic.
I
I'm
agree.
gonna run that movie back forever. You know what I'm saying? All I know is the Marvel movies, the character that he played as Kang in the multi-dimensions of black men that he showed, all these different variants of us throughout the known dimensional universe as black gods. Amazing. He played the goddamn big-headed scientist. Yeah. Right? He played in the movie with the black witches. I forget the name of it. Right? And he went through that whole movie going through all of the challenges, loopholes. Man, he was fighting as a warrior. He played in The Last Man in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jonathan Majors, you can say he made all he made was a mistake. Lovecraft Country. First of all, Lovecraft Country.
I ain't never seen
the Kang character. First of all, it's funny that those projects that he was involved in didn't get sequels. It makes no sense that Lovecraft Country did not get a sequel. First of all, you know what I'm saying? Because he was exposing a lot within that movie. Now his Kang character ain't gonna get a sequel. It just be interesting, man. Y'all can say what y'all want to. There ain't no accidents in America. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He lost how much money now from this?
I don't know how much.
180
he
million?
lost a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Yeah, he made a mistake.
Yeah.
That's
but
life.
Mistakes don't matter. We must live by the consequences, you know?
Man, listen, I'm all for redemption. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can only truly be counseled in America if you allow yourself to be counseled in America. That's it. If you act counseled, then you are counseled. That's it. Because here's the next thing for him. I would show visibility. Because if you act like you radioactive, nobody wants to touch you. Who gonna be the first radical person to hire him? You know what I'm saying? Becomes the question. He will have to hire himself. make something highly successful, man, I'll start a YouTube channel and put out my own goddamn movie. Do a short film, let it go viral. Everybody watches it. Put it on one of those fast channels. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, here goes a movie that's making millions of dollars.
Yeah, that's the thing. The possibilities are never over until you stop believing, like you said. You know, like even with the baby kept working.
Yeah, you
He
gotta
kept
work through it.
working. Yeah.
And all the baby said was a couple of things to some folks. It's like, bro, you only get counseled if you allow them to counsel you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when one thing happens in America, especially the black man at a large playing field, it happens to all black men. That's it. That happens to all black men. That's the way we feel. Y'all don't have to like it, but I really don't care. We feel it because it always feels like modern day lynchings. That's what it feels like in America to watch a black man go through scrutiny. You know what I mean? Especially things that other powerful men that would never even see the light of day. That would never went to criminal court. If anything, it might have went civil. But criminal, that was crazy for that man to be at the height of his career and go through a criminal court case like that.
Well, do you think the portrayal of black men in the media has, evolved in any kind of way?
I think not really. Nope. I think that those people who run the media still run the media. We don't control and run none of that. It only evolves in a way when we show and depict ourselves in a way we talk about our decisions, where we talk about our consequences, the way we talk about our redemption and our image. But beyond that, I think Kanye West is probably the greatest example of showing that nobody can truly be counseled unless they want to counsel themselves, and that the media doesn't have that much power that it used to. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, somebody like Kanye West couldn't exist, not in saying what he says and doing what he does. But now he can. So I think that that's the biggest thing. It's like, man, we got more power than we allow ourselves to use, but we don't act like it. Now, there's another thing I want to get into. This Epstein List.
Oh, man.
Let me read y'all what's going on with this Epstein List, man, because this is important. Because every time something happened with Epstein, they drop a bomb on us so we forget. The Epstein List come out, all of a sudden, Trump getting canceled.
Yeah. I didn't know nothing about Jeffrey Epstein until, the court case happened. I didn't even know who he was.
You said you went to the island before, didn't you?
I what?
You went to the island.
No, I ain't never been on the island in my life.
He said, I ain't been on a island.
On the island, you did. The island in the kitchen.
That's a whole good alibi. I never even been on the island, sir.
I don't even use 1,000 island salad dressing.
So I mean, for those who all right, so these lists are supposed to be made public in 2024, right? So it's probably not gonna be January 1st, probably like January 2nd or something, right? And a lady's filing that was settled by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, an American woman who claimed Epstein sexually abused her when she was just a minor, and that Ghislaine Maxwell, his woman or former girlfriend, longtime accomplice, aiding and abuse, right? So he got found guilty of all these charges. Some people say that he was like a CIA spook that was sent there to get dirt on Hollywood people, and he would finance scientific research. He would fund all of these people. The way he got his wealth is a mystery unto itself. You know what I mean? Some people believe that he got it for being in this homo relationship with this other billionaire white dude and got his money. And it's a whole lot of stuff that's behind this stuff. But there's a lot of people who are supposedly of the higher ups. And you was locked up when all this was happening. But it was a whole circulation of conspiracy theories around Epstein in this list, right? To where they were saying all kind of people on it. They were saying Oprah Winfrey, was on it, and that she was on house arrest, and Tom Hanks and all the celebrities was trying to hide, and they didn't allow these documents to come out at that time.
Right.
So they're saying that there's going to be a bunch of people that's going to be supposedly outed, when this list come up about some of his accomplices, in 2024. And I think 2024 is going to be a very crumbling year for the higher ups. I think that's the kind of energy that's going on in 2024. They got a lot to watch out for.
Yeah.
I think the gatekeeper class. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be moving out the country. You know what I mean? Let's just say that.
Now, I know like with these type of lists too though, context matter. Cause they can probably, your name could probably be mentioned in this. But it's to what degree was your involvement with this situation? Just because like I know you and we might have associated at a party a couple times, don't mean that I might know about your criminal activity or been in there. And that might not even be disclosed within that document. But people are still gonna judge you in the skepticism, man. So what you think about that angle of it all?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always that. People, if it's about the court of public opinion. People don't care about context or critical thinking.
Yeah.
There's only a small percentage of people on this planet who still use that faculty of the brain to actually critical think. That part has been shut off for most people, and they run with the emotions of a story, right? There's people that there could be somebody just by perhaps of another person that gave them the plane that he used and they flew on it. Now they logged in and their name is attached, or somebody who could have went to that island and had nothing to do with, you know what I mean, the nature of things that was going on behind the scenes, right? But then there is going to be some people that you may see on there like 5 to 10, 20 times, and you be like, ain't no way.
Ain't no way you ain't know about this shit.
Wait a minute now. Because there was a point in time where some of his accusations came out. So if you rocking with him after the accusations, you know, it's kind of like going to a Diddy party after, you know what I mean, the Cassidy stuff.
Right.
You feel me? It's kind of like, bro, we could.
But you got some people that'll say, well, he wasn't criminally convicted of a crime, so was it even a crime that what he's been accused of? You know,
don't listen.
you still got people. What you talking about is like your reputation. So if that's the case,
Are
the
you
people
only
who,
guilty because you get guilty in the courts?
I mean, not. I
You
mean,
guilty if
technically,
you
no.
actually do it.
Yeah, you get. That's what I'm saying. So technically, no.
That's like
but
that's like this weird reasoning. We know people in the hood that done did some things.
Yeah.
Just because you got off don't mean you wasn't guilty.
yeah, we know people in the hood that done did some shit.
Yeah.
Like probably even the worst of the worst is murder, and you still hang with them, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
in real life.
there's guilty, there's actually guilty, and then there's legally guilty. There's a lot of people who are actually guilty.
But
but
yeah,
not
when that
legally
list
guilty.
when
And
that
a lot
list
of
come
people
out, I do like
factually, I should say
feel
factually.
sorry for the people who got get caught up in that, who actually probably didn't have nothing to do with it, but now their reputation is destroyed just for being on that list. That'll be crazy. That's gonna be a crazy 2020.
Yeah, I mean, well, they should be able to have legitimate arguments of that they wasn't a part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you can only be destroyed if you were actually guilty of something.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you can't have a legitimate argument why you was there 20 times in a row, you know what I'm saying, late nights and all of that stuff, then I think that, yeah, there's some legitimacy to it. You know what I mean?
Cause your name definitely going on the blog for the clickbaits, all the gossip stories, all of that. Once they see that one name, I'm pretty sure it's the one actor that we all love gonna be on there. They
Who
was
that?
friends. Chris Tucker.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, we know that Hollywood, the Hollywood ups be doing a lot of stuff. The brother Christian Keys, as we come back to that conversation again, he talked about it. He basically saying it's either Tyler Perry or Diddy that was out here proposing to him, you know what I mean, to do some weird things for a piece of change. We talked about that last time.
Yeah.
But the whole thing about it is that is a common practice. The casting couch call is a common practice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
The
bruh,
casting couch
it's
call.
a cold piece in the game. It's a cold piece in the game.
Man.
You feel me? I'm just saying. What else we got, man? That's some cold game. First of all, you gotta be careful in America. America is a sick place, man. So anyway, I was looking up some of these ramifications, going back to the Trump situation. I want to get what your predictions are for the 2020 whatever election.
You wanna know what's crazy, right? I couldn't even tell you who was running, but Trump.
So you got
I ain't gonna lie,
Robert-
like,
you got
and
Robert
this
Kennedy.
is where. Hold on, this is where. When Trump first became president, right? He made it interesting to look at the shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, since Biden got in office, I haven't paid anything into politics at all because it's boring. It's no excitement. Like I don't even understand how he talk. He don't even understand what he talking about. So I'm not paying attention to it to the point where it's time to run for another presidency and shit. Who the campaign? Who running? I don't know nobody. Trump getting indicted for RICO was more exciting than that.
Okay. So here are some of the possible outcomes of what happened from that. Appeal to the Supreme Court, which they most likely go win. This is the first time this is the appeal to the Supreme Court. This is the first time this has happened. And I think that the appeal, they probably going to win. Just because I believe that, like you talked about the voters, in Colorado, I think that's what some might say 11 electoral votes. You could check on that. But the electoral college is how the presidents are selected. So if you don't have those electoral votes from that state and you disqualified from that state, then that can have big ramifications on your fight to win presidency. Regardless of the legal outcome, it can have political consequences, and it can affect who's going to stand with him when it comes to the Republican Party and his influence on it. But I don't think too many people are going to waver from Trump. I think that they're going with him because this is their best chance for the Republican Party to get power, right, which is falling behind Trump. So I think that they're going to rock with him all the way. You got the Republican political reaction. I think it can be more activism, increased demonstrations, influence on the platforms. So people going to be hating. There's going to be all these people talking about it. None of that's going to really matter. Other states, you got Pennsylvania, which I believe is one of the highest Supreme Courts. We'll see what happened over there, if they look at it, which I don't think that they will. But I know for a fact that this fight is going to get heated up anymore. Even more.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Now, I do know for no matter who becomes president that they have to side with Israel. Right? Trump already said he would, even though Trump says whatever he wants to say in order to get elected. Right? He said there used to be footage of Trump saying that Republicans are dumb. They scrubbed the internet of this footage and now saying that it's false. Does anybody remember this? Does anybody remember seeing the footage of Donald Trump saying, right, Republicans are the stupidest group. You can tell them anything and they'll believe it. And I ain't talking about an article, because I remember seeing the video, and now I can't find it nowhere. You know what I mean? They trying to play the, what's the effect? The Mandela effect.
Yeah.
No, I seen it for a fact. You can't tell me. Some people say the Mandela effect comes from the fact that CERN did an experiment with these particles, and when they clashed these particles, they opened up a new dimension. And this new dimension, basically split realities. It destroyed our reality, and it joined all these multi-universes together. And so some facts that some people remember and some facts that other people remember are different. And we remember in different lives, different worlds, different timelines, things of that nature. But I know for a fact I 100% remembered this. And there's not a psyop in the world. There's nobody that could tell me that this did not happen. You know what I mean? And I think that that's a dangerous thing when we can't, I want y'all to really think about this, though.
When you can delete things on the internet to control propaganda.
When you can just, stuff just disappear from the internet, and, you can be yelling at your children that this happened. They only going to believe what you have proof of. You know what I'm saying? But then how can you believe any proof in the future when anything can be made up? Your deep fake voice can be made up. Digital pictures can be made up. What the hell is going to be the truth in the future? Yeah. The post-era of truth is a very dangerous thing to where you can't tell what's fact or fiction anymore. You know what I mean? Your version of history and their version of history, oh, man, it's dangerous.
So who you voting for, cuz?
Man, you know I'm voting for. Stop playing with me, man. Yeah. And this came out when they had just said that they found out that there was all of these rigged, these votes, I think 20-something, 11,000. I forgot how many votes. It was a certain amount of votes that were falsely counted that didn't exist. It's You gotta pay attention. There's so much news that just flash on your screen, then something else flash, and you forget, like, wait a minute, I gotta connect this to this. Because every time people start running with one narrative, they gotta come up with a counter narrative, then a counter narrative. Yeah. And because we only remember in like 3 to 5 days of information, you only remember what's presented in front of you right now. It's a cold game. It's a cold game. Yo, yeah, you're going to have to really have a high level of discernment to know what's real and fact. Anybody can just, I think that the most dangerous thing about the internet is the ability for you to just make up stuff. And a large group of people who want to believe it will believe it. I don't take a lot of time talking about people who make up stories about me, because people who want to believe it will believe it.
Right. No matter what you say.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So you got to just, you have to lock in, you know what I mean, with people who know you, people who believe you, people who trust you, you know what I mean, people who know your character, who know your body, you know your heart, your mind, your soul, your spirit, and then move with them. And then let everybody else believe what they want to. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, as long as it's not consequential to affecting your life, y'all can run with whatever narrative. There's people on this planet Earth who are severely unintelligent. I'm not going to change their IQ. So the way that they perceive reality is always going to be from a lower place, right? So my whole point is to tap in with people of the higher class of society, people who are actually intelligent. I want to know smart people.
Do it ever become a problem when, like, people make up a story and then the people who you thought were, like, a comrade or an associate of yours, and they take the stories and run with them and spread the propaganda as well? Do that ever make you feel away, or you just tunnel vision with that as well?
I ain't had nobody do that. I'm smacking you if you do that. Straight up. Can't beat my partner and spread misinformation.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be some missing information on you. You can't do that.
Yeah, man. Like, you gotta have some type of protocol, huh?
Yeah, no, it gotta be real. Like you know, there's a reason they got a green light and a red light. Green light mean go. Green light mean that, listen, anybody that see this person, you know what I mean? You know what it means.
Yeah.
If I gotta explain it, you ain't gonna do the mission anyway. So it's just green light. Don't play with the tribe.
Yeah.
Don't play with the tribe.
You know the vibes.
You know the vibes. You know the Black Americans back outside. Yeah, it's like that.
I seen your boy Lil Wayne today, and 2 Chainz had an interview, and they was asking him, like, who's the GOAT rapper on Young Money record label, and he chose Nicki Minaj, but in my eyes, I would have chose Drake, man. So I know you had a Young Money phase, man. Everybody was addicted to the new Wayne records that's dropping. Who is your GOAT artist on the Young Money label?
You said I had a Young Money phase.
Bro, you did. Well, we went to college together, and I remember, bro, one of your favorite songs was that Up in the Studio, Me and My Dream.
Oh,
Me and My Dream.
How about that?
For sure, for sure.
That wasn't no phase, but it was a good song. At the time, it was vibes. I mean, Lil Wayne, obviously.
Wayne, he's the GOAT.
Yeah, obviously. You know what I mean? When you heard that, when he let everybody rap, and then at the end, here come Wayne killing everybody. You know what I'm saying? I would have to go Wayne, Drake, Nicki.
Wayne, Drake, Nicki.
It's just, I think that's just what everybody knows about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think Drake created more vibes than all of them, though.
Yeah.
So I put him as number 1. Cause you got to think with Drake, man, he got different genres. It's Nicki do too though, but her different genre music don't hit like Drake music. But I might be wrong, cause I'm
biased, cause I'm not. You feel me? I don't be listening to it like you do.
Stop it.
Are we capping now?
You too much listening to who, Nicki?
Yeah.
Man, come on, man, don't do that, bro.
Bro, we already talked about this in your Nicki Minaj obsession.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You still a real one though. I still rock with you.
Okay.
You still my partner.
Put this new Nicki on there.
No, we ain't doing all that.
Yeah, all right. Stop it.
But listen, I don't even be listening to rappers no more. I ain't even heard the Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz album. But I will say this though. I mean, Wayne is Wayne. It is what it is. You know, I like hip hop. You feel me?
Shit. We went to the what's his name? Big
Oh,
Hit.
Big Hit
We
and
went to
Hit Boy.
Big Hit, right? Yeah, the other day. I don't know if you all can see this, but we went to the album release party, like a little private release party for Big Hit new album, which is Hit Boy's father, the producer Hit Boy, and he did some nostalgia thing. You know what I'm saying? When he came in, he had the CDs printed up. The old the big TV that used to be in grandma's house playing the videos on it, you know.
Yeah.
He just created a different vibe, but it took me back when he handed us the CD. I'm like, damn, why I'm gonna play the CD yet?
Yeah.
Can you believe, like, man, the way like technology evolved, you know, in different ways we can do the same things that we used to do in the background, but it's just simplified now.
Yeah, I think I first of all shout out to Hit Boy, Big Hit. I
Yeah.
like what they doing over there. His real goal is to like make sure that his father stay out of prison,
Yeah.
and he got something recreational. He got a dream that he can chase. And his father was like, when we did the interview, which I'm gonna release this Saturday, he was like, you know, his biggest thing now is like seeing his grandchild happy.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like being able to like talk to him. He had that time. Man, and I like watching them interact, and I like what they doing, and I think it's so important what Hit Boy doing with him. Cause I told Hit Boy, I'm like, you like a bridge between these generations. You know what I'm saying? Like you had Nas, of course, you got your pops, but it's like,
Then he the young, you know.
yeah, he the young one that's in that. But it's like with him and his father being really good with the rapping too. I heard him from he was talking about bang like this, I bang like this. And then he said I bang so much I look in the mirror, I bang on myself.
Yeah, his pops do get out real OG vibes.
But we don't get enough of seeing, I think, fathers interact with their children. You know what I mean? And have success with their children and their children's lives. So I think that it is for everybody that watches that dynamic, people love it because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's father time? You
Especially
know, like,
after, because we all a lot of black men, a lot of black boys don't get that time because their fathers was in jail. So this is like the perfect play out to see in real life. Man, my father did about 20 years, 19 years. He came home, and I got him focused. I got myself right to the point I can put him in a position,
Yeah.
and now we just moving around the world, and people don't, like you said, don't get to see that.
well, let's get a little deep then with this shit. Man.
Yeah.
Because as we talk about father time catches up to everybody, as they say. But father time goes deep, right? When we talking about the father time was known, you know, to carry the sickle, which represents harvest. It represents the cycles of time, right? When you go back into Greek order, right? But father time was also a complex, you know what I mean? And this complex was something that fought against his own children, right? When you go back into Greek studies, I'm gonna pull up some because it's the 19th of the month, you know what I'm saying? And we'll go into the Chronos complex, which kind of goes into a deeper thread of America and America's downfall, if y'all really want to know. You know what I mean? 19th of the month, this is the last 19th of the year, which is special. You know what I mean? It being 12/19, these are portal days where things open up. This is why the announcement of Trump happened on this particular day. It's a representation of truth. It's a representation of opportunity. The thing about white folks is they know this magic and they do not miss opportunities to open up these portal days. Very important things to get into the psyches of the mind of the people. I'm going to drop a video where Minister Farrakhan was explaining the importance of the number 19, and he did this October 16, 1995 at the Million Man March, you know what I mean, in front of the Washington Monument, which he said was 16 feet high, and he said in front of this are these two presidents. One is the third, one is the 16th, and of course that represents the 19. And he said that it, you know, when that one comes next to that 9, it represents something to be uncovered, you know what I mean, and unfolded. And he said the secret of America, right, is the black body. Now, if y'all seen, you know, Leave America Behind or Leave the World Behind, washed up on shore, 1619, they said that they brought 19 and 20 slaves over. Of course, the truth was that the 64-year hidden history in America that it started in 1555, right, which was be another angel number of recognition. So when you observing time, you have to observe the numbers, right? I could have predicted easily that something was going to happen 12/19, right? Because these are one of these portal days, as I'll call them, for something to happen, right? I think Trump was initiated into the office on January 19th or February 19th, one of them. You know what I'm saying? Trump actually he has a lot of resonation with the number 19 and what that represents. And I'll go deeper one of these days for you all, which I haven't been able to go. But here's the thing: fear the paradigm shifters, a new time, right? This is something that you have to be able to pay attention to. Number one, a paradigm in Greek, it represents a pattern, example, or a sample, right? Comes from the verb paradigma, right? Which represents to expose, right? And so, or to show or to point out. So it's like, we can see in America that the paradigm has shifted. Presidential elections are not what they used to be.
Right.
Presidential elections are like civil wars now, right? One side of America against the other side of America, but in a very real vitriol way. They're not playing by campaigns no more. They're trying to get each other locked up, trying to get each other's sons locked up. It don't even feel like presidential anymore. Nothing about the presidency feels presidential. Biden does not feel presidential at all, right? We haven't had a president since Obama, right? Trump was not a president. Trump was a dictator. He was a ruler. He came in to shift things up. He came to unveil things, right? So you have to recognize how far we've come to know where we at. And because we shift so many times throughout the world that you don't even realize how much things have changed. We just accept change, right? Like in the movie, it talks about a time that was nostalgic for a time that doesn't exist. Thinking about presidencies back in the day, that's nostalgic for a time that don't exist. We reminisce off old nostalgic music because that time don't exist to us anymore. We're living in this post-era where the world is like ending and we're trying to figure out what makes us happy. And the only thing that makes people happy is the past, right? Because they can't look forward to the future, right? So the only candidates that you got right now is candidates of the past. There's nothing new being presented to the people anymore from the political class. You got to pay attention to what's going on. Father Time is caught up with America, right? So, the Greeks believed that Chronos, and you got to know Chronos represents a chronon. Chronometry represents an increment of time, like a second or a minute or an hour, right? Y'all following with me? Let me know if y'all following with me. You know what I'm talking about? We go get to it. We'll get a little deep in this one. So during antiquity, Chronos was occasionally interpreted as Cronus. According to Plutarch, the Greeks believed that Cronus was an allegorical name for Kronos. In addition to the name, the story of Kronos eating his children was also interpreted as an allegory to a specific aspect of time held with Kronos' fear of influence, right? So Kronos was a Greek god that went and ate his own children, right? He was jealous of their power and what they would gain in America. America has always been at war with his own children.
Yeah.
That's what a civil war is, right? A civil war is a war with his own children. The reason when we see the school shootings that happened in America is because you follow what happened on April 19th with, I forget the place where the federal agents went and raided, and these people was kind of trying to live sovereign and off the grid, and they went and just killed them all. And Timothy McVeigh was watching that, and he decided he wanted to implement or emulate, right, something that he seen another radical group, which was he was a part of a militia, and he went and did some terroristic acts. And of course, white men were the face of terrorism during that time. And it represents, where we at right now is America's at war with itself, right? It's at war with its own values. The children that growing up in this generation, right, are at war with the old values and old system of America, quite literally, right? These younger children, younger white children, don't believe in the older white father. They don't believe in the patriarch, right? That's what the father time is the patriarch, literally father time, right? So the patriarch of America is the war that we going through, and that's why these are the end of times, and it gets deeper.
Yeah. It's necessary, though, man, for the fall of America, because, shit, like you said, it was built on destruction.
Waco, thank you. Yes, Waco incident, which happens on the 19th, right? Which also happened on the 19th was those brothers that were accused of, raping that white girl that got
in the park.
Central Park 5, who Donald Trump took out a list on, even though that brother who I crowned, he ended up winning and becoming he won in politics recently.
Yeah,
and he was mocking Donald Trump. Like, look how far we came. Right? Pay attention. Father Time comes and gets all. So anyway, as the theory went, because as it says, Kronos eating his children was also interpreted as an allegory to a specific aspect of time held with Kronos. Sphere of influence. So his sphere of influence represents his time of rulership, right? What is America losing? Influence. Influence over its own children, right? This children is America. So, as the theory went, Cronus represented the destructive ravages of time, which consumed all things. A concept that was definitely illustrated when the Titan King devoured the Olympic gods. The past consuming the future. The older generation suppressing the next generation. This is all going to be in my 19 high-level observation book, by the way. The older generation suppressing the next generation during the Renaissance. During the Renaissance, we're going through that Renaissance right now, right? What do you see? Blockchain technology, right? This is a renaissance of AI, renaissance of social media, renaissance of so-called free thinking, right? Why is America stifling innovation? Why is it not allowing the American people to grow in prosperity to where they can get wealth? It's stifling the renaissance. You know what I mean? The social media is killing freedom of speech and things of that nature. So it is a stifling renaissance.
So this is why you got the Mark Zuckerbergs going to build underground bunkers because they feel like something is coming.
Yeah, well, that's nothing new. I think that's just a fear thing to even talk about, in a sense. Not that you bringing it up as a fear thing, but in the sense that they've been doing that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you have an underground bunker? I know regular people in Florida, you know what I mean, they got underground bunkers. That's just intelligence. The inevitability, there's 100% chance that something will happen. It's inevitability, it's stats, it's statistics, it's the world that we live in.
Yeah.
Right? The idea that the world will be untouchable forever is crazy. You know what I mean? Every people that were probably living before a travesty completely wiped them out were thinking the same thing. The British thought that they was going to last forever, and that empires fell, right? So now that we're living during this time, yeah, I mean, these are the ends of times, right? But a new time comes when an end time comes.
Right.
So you have to understand, like, what dimension are you even living on? Are you living on Ethiopian time, the Mayan calendar, or are we living on Pope's time? Even the Pope now coming out and saying that he's blessing same-sex marriage. That represents the end of the church. His influence has waned and disappeared so much that he has to acquiesce to society and not keep it right in line with the faith and belief of the parishioners and people who practice there. It's the end of time. It's the 19th, y'all. Y'all both get this work, man. You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't know that. I didn't know they was doing that over there.
Yeah. It's the end of empire disease. You know what I mean? You pull up the skirt of the Pope, he ain't got no nuts. As the theory went, Cronus represented the destruction ravages of time which consumed all things. Let me go past that. So that's, if you want to study that, that's in Greek Cronus, and Greek mythology. In Greek mythology are myths. You have to understand myths are like symbols for the mind, right? Myths are very powerful. Myths are a way to communicate ideas, energies throughout times. Myths are not supposed to be about facts. They are stories of prediction. They are ideas that exist in these storylines that play out over time and time and time and time. It's like a story of Hercules, right? Or a story of Samson, right? Or the myths that we carry about ourselves. These myths are very powerful stories that last longer than facts, because the myths and the stories we tell to other people, right? That represents lessons and ideas, and they get carried out in the archetypes of people who become characters in those mythos, right? Our story can carry the Messiah mythos. We look at Nipsey's story, that's the Messiah mythos. Pac, Messiah mythos, right? Malcolm X, Messiah mythos, right? You gotta carry on with the stories, and you gotta understand the way these things go. This the 19th, I'm telling you, man, we ready. All right. So, and here's the thing. What was it? It was NASA that just said that they got the clearest picture of Uranus that we've ever seen. Pause. So in Greek mythology, Cronus from Greek was the leader of the youngest first generation of Titans, right? The divine descendants of Uranus of the sky and Gaia of the earth. He overthrew his father and ruled during the mythological golden age, until he was overthrown by his own son Zeus and imprisoned in Tartarus. All right. So you can decide on what's the golden age. We had many different ages in America. We had Iron Age, Bronze Age, Golden Age, right? We have ages of Renaissance. We have Dark Age, Tech Ages, right? So the times go through different ages representing what is the dominant ruler and what is the god of that age. There was a time where gold was the god of that age. There's a time where technology, AI just means 19. This is the age of 19, right? That we used to operate on an alphabetical numerical equivalent system, meaning that A represents 1, I represents 9. So when they talk about AI, I ain't afraid of it. That's just 19. Yeah, I mean, that's just people trying to play God, because 19 is a God number. It represents all, right? So when we say this is the age of all, what do we see coming out nowadays? We see all things coming out. You know what I'm saying? AI is supposed to solve all things, represent all things, right? So, I'm not afraid of AI. It's just 19. It's just a number. You know what I mean? It was what? COVID-19. COVID-19 or COVID AI, same thing. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how you want to switch it up. So for me, the way I look at, the way I observe the world is not from a place of fear. It's a place from understanding. And everything is just information. A system or a machine doesn't fear information. A system it gathers information so that it can make decisions. And because we're so emotional, when we get data, instead of utilizing that data as information on what to do next, we are fearful of the data.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is why people don't tell people stuff, because they want to remain ignorant. In the moment you tell people, they say you fear mongering. No, you are fearful of the data. You shouldn't have been fearful. If you had an idea, thought, plan of how you can utilize it, then there would be no reason for fear. Fear comes in a lack of ignorance, a lack of understanding, right? So let's get to it.
Father time.
Father time, man. Listen, you got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they say it's the fall of America, man. You see the expired.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cronus was usually depicted with a harp, a scythe, or a sickle, which was the instrument he used to castrate and depose Uranus, his father and his father. Now, you can also go look at ancient Kemet stories and things of that nature and find correlations, because the Greeks only stole it from the ancient Kemetic people. But those Greeks back in those days, really those stories, those black people, man. So anyway, we can get to that later. Where you think they got that story of Hercules from?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You ever seen Tookie Williams and them? You know what I'm saying? We know what's going on. So Cronus governed chronological time, contrasted with the Greek word for time, kairos, right? Meaning the indeterminate moment that is right for something to occur. So when we talk about it, like, people look at synchronicity. People look at why things happen on certain times and dates consistently over and over.
It's all a strategy.
It's a kairos. It's an opportune time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And things have to operate on this system, because when you understand the universal principles and laws on how things are governed, then you know that there's a certain time to do everything. If you got the sickle of time, then in the wintertime you don't plant things, right? You understand the cycles of earth, right? It's the same thing with numbers. If you're aligning things like the ancient Kemetic people, right, when they had to study the Nile River, and they realized that by studying the stars and the river and things of that nature, then they can time when it was the right time to harvest. So therefore they were able to grow abundance of food, right? So that's why that land became plentiful. So they knew when it was kairos, when it was the opportune time. So by having that mathematical mind and creating system and being in connection with the cosmos and nature, now you know when to do things and when not to do things. But if you're not operating and tapped into that efficiency, you're operating on a time scale that's given to you by man. You have to go work, but you're not even in connection to your biological time, right? Which is your circadian rhythm telling you when to wake up, right? Then you have cycles within the day, right? That you have peaks. So you may be able to work for 90 minutes. Then you got a 30-minute relaxed cycle that you got to have, then another 90-minute. But the workplace is not set up like that. The workplace is you got to work through all your cycles. So now you become burnt out, literally, right? Because you're not operating in flow with self. Or you're trying to plan and create ideas in the wintertime when you're supposed to wait to the equinox, right? When the sun's strength comes back, right? And then at the summer is when you planning big events, because that's when the energy is at its highest, right?
Everybody out.
Exactly. So you got to know the opportune times. There's metonic cycles of the moon. There's solar cycles of the sun. There's planetary cycles, right? When energy is spinning in the universe at different points in time, there's magnetic spheres of this planet Earth to where everything has this moon cycles. You're not going to plan a vacation with your lady on the day of her period. No, we're not doing that, right? So you got to know the cycles. You going to wait till it's over, then have a vacation so you time it at the right time.
Now we can go on the island.
Yeah, now we can go. You want to be on the island by your girl the day she started her period? That's you're not in tune with the cycles.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with America. You got to know when is the best time for black people to go do what they're supposed to do.
So I got a question. How
end of
Mr.
the
19
cycle.
Keys gonna be moving during this fall of America that's going on? Especially like 2024, because like you said, it's gonna be a lot of more chaos going on and all that. How you gonna maintain your mental peace and stay out the way and continue
Man,
your mission?
It's you got to be able to operate in high stress environments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A warrior finds peace in war. You know what I mean? So I'm not looking for the type of peace that most people are looking for, right? If you're going to be a great warrior, general, entrepreneur, whatever you're going to be during this time, you have to increase your baseline to where your stress level, you know what I mean, can handle what most people can't, right? So that you can continue to work at a high level. While most people are stressed out about what is to come, right? You have to have that in normality so you can keep working like this is nothing.
Yeah.
So I always operate in the future already, so when things happen, I'm not surprised, right? My goal is to become more dense, right? If you study, with atoms and things of that nature, when the people around you, because this is a time to strengthen tribes and strengthen relationships. And when those relationships are strengthened, they become dense. And the density increases the strength and the magnetic force, right, that you have. So when we say just find your tribe season, build your tribe, solidify your tribe season, you should have just only a small, dense group of people that make y'all powerful together.
Right.
I would suggest 5 to 10 people. 10 could be a lot, but 5 to 10 people, right? 3 to 5 people is a mastermind. So the goal is to only operate in a small, dense circle of power, right? And what do we want? We want to be able to sovereignly move throughout this planet Earth, right? I want to be able to be in Africa. Why, if everything going down in America, am I supposed to stay here? We're not going to win a physical civil war. We know that's not what it is. It's a war of mental and spiritual warfare that we have to win, right? So we got to live through this so that we can implant the programming and seed the ideas into the next generation. Yeah. It's not worth anything unless the ideas in the mind is seeded into the next generation, right? If I'm gone and, every trace of me is deleted, what did I do? Right? No, I have to leave literature. I have to leave scholarship, right? We have to leave plans and blueprints, right? And you have to have that.
The same thing that was left for us.
Codes, order, structure, so that they can build on top of that when the kairos, the opportune time comes for them, right? After a great destruction, that's the time of building, right? So, but what will be built? We build off the ideas of our ancestors, right? We are God's chosen people. And this is an important thing. If you do not believe that you are God's chosen people, why are you alive? What are you here for? Most people don't really believe that the fact that melanated people, these copper-colored children in the fields of North America do not believe that you're God's chosen people, yet every description in every religious book describes you.
Man, literally, every one.
You don't believe that you're God's chosen people? And I ain't saying that you just believe it rhetorically. I'm talking about believe it with a privilege and audacity, like you're the heirs of this planet Earth. You're too goddamn meek, but they say the meek shall inherit the earth, right? Who is those people that is represented and described in every single book? You go to the Ethiopian church and they show you the depictions of the people in the Bible. They were all dark melanated people, every single depiction. All of the apostles, all of the saints, Jesus, Yahweh rather, all of them. People say the color don't matter. That's only if you colorblind. But you can still this a different shade of gray. You know what I'm talking about? So if black people can't unite behind that we being God's chosen people and that it is our time, right? I don't care whatever else your belief is. Those are the two single things you need to know. This is our time, and we are the chosen people to inherit the earth. Who is more deserving than those who have been through the worst? We've been through the worst.
Yeah.
They talk about Ham's curse. I don't think it's a gift. They say, a gift can be a curse. Not a curse in the sense that it's a negative thing. It's a curse in the gift in the sense that if you like the wealthiest person in your family and everybody look at you and it's like wealth can be a curse.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing for the person who has it, but it's a greater deemed responsibility. When you are magical people, it's a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have to go through sacrifice. And sacrifice in Latin is breaks down to sacred. So you're going to have some sacred time to where you have to figure things out. Shout out to the natives of Sitting Bull. You know what I mean? Shout out to those of Wounded Knee. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Native Americans that are fight. We seem to be very closely related to those Native Americans. We love the spirits. We love to drink. We love war. We love fight. We love tribalism. We jump all the way to Africa when we talk about the things that we emulate, but it's only because we've never studied the Native American culture. Go look at Sitting Bull. He loved war. When you go to the hoods in America, man, it remind me of the Native Americans. They were scalping them. He sent out 10,000 men. They had smoking parties. They were smoking their tobacco, drinking their spirits, dancing. Yahé. You know what I mean? Going to war, and they loved it. And they said that, listen, if you want to take our land, you got to know you got to go through us in order to get to it. You know what I mean? Sitting Bull, man, they had rituals that they had to go through. And when he was 14 years old, he rode out into the fields and he touched the enemy like this. You know what I mean? So what he did was he went up to a group of enemies riding on his horse. His goal wasn't to kill them. You know what I mean? He went out and touched the enemies, and that was a representation of like he becoming one of the men. You feel me? He did this at an early age. You know what I mean? And got away with it and got back to the tribe and became legendary. But what they were saying was that was his spirit the whole time. You know what I mean? He had this fearless, I ain't afraid of the enemy and this is my space.
Yeah.
You feel me? And all he wanted was to be great. And the enemies that he fought were very ambitious, but he wasn't afraid. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. Lions and tigers may be great, but they still will work at a circus. A wolf won't. That spirit of the natives were like wolves, right? They refused to perform for the white man. They refused to work for him. They refused to be in his circus. That's the spirit. There's a lot of us that of that tribe, that wolf tribe, they got that spirit. They refuse to be a part of the circus.
It's like bacon.
Yeah. Huh?
It's like bacon. Like, man, we refuse. Don't put that over. Like, what? It is forbidden.
We don't want it.
We don't want it. Yeah.
There's many people that are great, but they refuse to be a part of. I mean, they participate in the circus. You know what I mean? The natives refuse to be a part of it, and I can go deeper into the number 19 if we had time.
Yeah, you gotta do that on your own. So no,
Nah,
I'm just kidding.
This, y'all listen.
Catch him on high level conversations if you want. Matter of fact, we got an episode where he actually went through. I'm gonna need y'all to go check it out. It's called the Cipher. When we mean
Well, shit, you gotta drop the clips.
You did.
Then. Drop
I
the
got
clips
you.
on the
I got
high
you.
level conversation page. One day I will go through, or y'all just gonna have to get it on the book though.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all subscribe to the page, right? And I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Tigers and lions may be more powerful, but
like
wolves
that
do not
analogy,
join
though.
the circus.
That was fire. I like that. I might have to steal that.
My analogy, everybody want to be a goat. I want to be the wolf. I'm willing only to live forever. That's my analogy of the wolf. The wolf doesn't die. You know what I mean? Because to die is to kill your spirit. Spirit is an energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. You know what I mean? So, so as long as you got that spirit, you forever. Some of us got that spirit, we different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And they don't like that. It's a new era of wolves out here. It's a new tribe out here. It's new tribe season. I know people don't be liking the Keys Wolf. It's like, listen, it's because I don't operate on the rules you want me to operate on. And I don't care about your circus. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to debate with you. I don't want to follow into none of your guidelines. I don't want to be a part of none of your structure. I don't want to know
I don't
you.
want to come to none of your parties.
No, I don't
I
want
don't
to
want
join
none
the
of your
circus.
gifts, none of that. Yeah.
That's your circus.
Yeah.
Enjoy that circus. You know what I mean? Fuck the circus. Y'all want to be a part of that? Go over there. Don't ask me about nobody. You know what I mean? If it ain't about us building over here, gaining, and I'm gonna tell y'all this: true building takes time. So if anybody comes and criticizes the construction workers while they building, man, you just gotta get kicked off site. You feel me? Like who comes around a construction worker and criticizes while you building because you want to see the finished model? No. You taking up time from the building. If you're not here to help, get away.
We good with that, like judging everything from a 10-year perspective in the first year. Like, let's give them some time to grow. People good at that.
So I'm done with it. You know, in the words of Dr. Khaled, man, you know, we here to inspire and educate.
Yeah.
You know, for those who get strength in the spirit during this time, you got to tighten over. It's takeover time. You know, you got to go through something. You got to have some eyes that have been through something. I'm from Oakland, California, grew up in St. Louis. I've seen some of the worst and worst, been through a lot of the challenges, you know. And this is a time where you got to understand that, you know, it's the son's time now. Father time is up. It is. It's up. It's the son's time. You know what I mean? And may the children rise. May you rise in spirit. May you touch the enemy. You know what I mean? And understand yourself and never give up your land again. Right? Your land is in your heart. Right? But it's also beneath your feet. May you touch the earth. May you gather with the souls that are great and brave across this planet. May you honor the sacrifice of those who chose to lay down their life so that you will never give up on life. I'm 19 Keys. It's been your man to man.
I'm Steve Jones. You can follow us at 19_Keys and at Steve Jones AFNF on Instagram. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. And we appreciate you for tapping in. Stay tuned. We got more to come. Thank you.
Subscribe. Oh, make sure you get your gold water and get your crowns.
Oh,
Go to the sites ASAP.
Make sure you get some of these too, man. You know, these are all the flash glasses in the land.
We out.
Everybody got them.